The European Network of Fugitive Active Search Teams, ENFAST, supported by Europol, launched the European Most Wanted campaign to focus on fugitives across Europe who are members of organized crime groups. Over 50 profiles of fugitives linked to organized crime groups have been uploaded to the website this year. The criminals in this year's campaign are all wanted for serious crimes in Europe such as murder, trafficking in human beings, armed robbery, and terrorism, amongst other offenses. So in this video, we are going to show you European criminals that shock the industry. The video is going to be amazing, so make sure you stick to the end. Motisi, Giovanni. Giovanni Motisi was one of the bosses of the Italian Cosa Nostra Sicilian Mafia and is wanted for committing several serious and brutal murders. Motisi, also known as the Fat Man, is also believed to have taken part in slaughters and firearms offenses, making him one of Europe's most wanted, and has been on Italy's most wanted lists since 1998 and has been on the run since 1993. He was considered to be one of the more powerful bosses of Palermo. He rose in the ranks as one of the killers for the boss of bosses Toto Riina and his Corleonesi, but became close to Bernardo Provenzano when the latter took over the position of Riina as head of Cosa Nostra. He received a life sentence in 1985 for the murder of a police officer. In 2001, he narrowly escaped an attempt to arrest him. In 2002, he was replaced as one of the mafia heads of the Pagliarelli because as a fugitive he was seen as not managing the mafia successfully. To this day, his whereabouts are unknown. Some believe he is dead, while others dispute this and say that he is hiding in the south of Sicily. Radu Stoica, Anna Maria, and other Europe most wanted women. The Hungarian Anna Maria Radu Stoica is wanted in her homeland after being sentenced to 10 years in prison. 34-year-old Anna Maria Radu Stoica is on Europol's list of the most wanted criminals in the world. The woman is wanted together with other people after establishing an organized criminal group for the purpose of sexual exploitation of several female persons, as well as for the purpose of facilitating the practice of prostitution, some of whom are minors. She was sentenced to 10 years in prison and has been under investigation since August 2012. The Romanian is on the same list as other famous names such as Ruja Ignatova, a woman of Bulgarian origin called Crypto Queen. The FBI is offering a reward of up to $100,000 for information leading to her arrest. Ignatova, 42, is accused of using the cryptocurrency OneCoin as a multi-level marketing scam to target investors around the world between 2014 and 2018. Also on the same list as the two women is Iva Zmechnikov, 41, who is wanted in Slovakia after being sentenced in absentia to 8 years in prison for hiring an assassin to kill her ex-husband. In January 2014, she arranged to pay her friend Martin Adamkovic 50,000 euros to kill her husband, a soldier she had been married to for just 2 months. Before we move on, support us by hitting subscribe and the bell icon to get notified when we post new videos. Now let's get back to our topic. Zarko Pijanovic. 39-year-old Zarko Pijanovic, also known as Zarko Stefanovic, was born in the city of Leskovac in Serbia. Pijanovic is considered dangerous by the authorities. He is suspected of having participated in an armed robbery in a jeweler's store in Luxembourg City on 18 July 2008. On that day, at around 10:25 a.m., 4 perpetrators entered the store in Luxembourg City. The offenders were in possession of pistols. The employees and 3 customers in the store were threatened and forced to lie on the floor. Using an axe or similar, one of the robbers destroyed the showcases inside the shop. 64 very valuable watches worth several €100,000 were stolen. The robbers then fled in a Mercedes E250, which had been stolen in the north of Luxembourg on 15 July 2008. This car was found 1 hour later in Luxembourg City. It appears from the investigation that the perpetrators of this robbery belonged to the Pink Panther gang. The group is responsible for several robberies in jewelry stores in Europe at this time. On 20 May 2020, a European arrest warrant and an international arrest warrant were issued. Hamid Noor Eddin G. Ibrahim, a Europol spokesman, said they had added the 18 sex offenders to the list of 57 to put the spotlight on on-the-run suspects. Although not suspected of a sex crime, the list of the 57 most wanted includes one suspected killer who was last seen in Dublin. Libyan-born Hamid Noor Eddin G. Ibrahim is accused of the alleged brutal murder of Maltese native Sylvana Muscat, 36, in Paul's Bay, Malta in 2015. On March 11, 2015, a woman was found dead in her apartment's bedroom in Paul's Bay in Malta. An investigation concluded that she had been killed by her former partner, Hamid Noor Eddin G. Ibrahim. The autopsy showed that the victim died of 5 stab wounds on the same day that her body was discovered. That same day, Ibrahim fled the island a couple of hours before the body of the victim was discovered. Officials learned that he took a flight to Italy, but sources later informed Maltese police that he was seen in Dublin, Ireland a month later. Dublin is his last known whereabouts, and he has been on the run since fleeing Malta. The international policing body issued a fresh appeal for help from the public in finding a group of 57 suspected criminals, including 18 wanted for alleged sex crimes. A preliminary investigation discovered that the victim was murdered inside an apartment, and a warrant was issued for the arrest of her former partner. An autopsy proved that the victim died of a total of 5 stab wounds. Nathan Smith. Nathan Smith, a 27-year-old male, is currently the one entry from England on Europol's most wanted list. He is wanted by police in connection with a fatal stabbing in London's Finsbury Park on Friday, 3 January 2020, that saw the death of Taqi Boudhain, known as Taki. The 30-year-old Algerian delivery driver was involved in a traffic altercation in London, which escalated to him being stabbed to death. London's Metropolitan Police is offering up to a £10,000 reward for information that could lead to the identification, arrest, and prosecution of the person responsible for Taki's death. We are very keen to speak to Nathan Smith as part of our ongoing inquiries, Detective Chief Inspector Neil John, who is leading the investigation, said of the case. We know that he fled the country the day after Taki's murder, initially traveling to Austria and then on to Switzerland. We are confident he has now moved elsewhere in Europe or potentially further afield. There is a European arrest warrant out for Nathan, and our inquiries continue in several countries with assistance from the NCA, John said. He added that the police believe there are also people who know of Smith's whereabouts or that have seen him over the past 6 months and have urged them to contact the Met. They add that Smith has connections to North London, particularly the areas of Islington, Camden, and Kittenish Town. Smith claimed he acted in self-defense after Mr. Boudhain attacked him with a screwdriver during a road rage row in Finsbury Park, London in January 2020, but he was unanimously convicted of murder by an Old Bailey jury. The Recorder of London, Judge Mark Lucraft QC, said, "The sentence I pass can never equate to or replace a life lost. Another life lost to death through the use of a knife on the streets of London." The judge said Smith claimed he had been on his phone talking to a woman he was due to meet while driving a van. It may be the case that you maneuvered your van in a way that irritated Taqi. There is clearly a verbal altercation between the two of you. The judge said Mr. Boudhain at one point turned his back to walk away. You then ran at him. You inflicted what was to be a fatal wound. On the CCTV, you could be seen using the knife and making contact with him on a couple of occasions. Having stabbed him, you flee the scene in the van. It is clear to me that you were the aggressor. While there was some posturing by Taqi, he does not approach or threaten you. During the final sequence of events, Taqi was not holding the screwdriver in an open hand or brandishing it. The next day you flee, using your brother's bank card. You remain at large for around 17 months. Mr. Boudhain, who had been in the UK for about 3 years, was working as a delivery driver when he was killed. His mother, Said Boudhain, said in a victim impact statement that a minor road traffic incident changed her family's lives forever, adding, "This man continued to torment my family for refusing to accept responsibility. He forced us to endure a Crown Court trial where my son watched his brother's murder frame by frame on CCTV. Even then, he claimed he felt like he was the victim and showed no remorse to my family. Not once did he say he was sorry for what he had done, only that he had suffered PTSD whilst on the run for murdering my child." So that's it. Please like, share, and comment your thoughts below if you like this video. Remember to subscribe to see our next video. Stay safe, and we will be back soon with another video.